Hey YouTube, Rico Knows here. Going to talk to you guys about the 2024 NFL Draft. And you guys know the deal. I am reviewing every single draft pick made in the 2024 NFL Draft. So if you want to see all the previous teams, all you got to do, go to the playlist. I'm going alphabetical by city. Go watch all the other videos. Here we are. I'm talking about the Kansas City Chiefs. I've done this video on TikTok. On YouTube, I go a little more in depth. That's all it is, okay? But I can tell you guys right now, I like this draft. I like what the Chiefs did. I don't always like what the Chiefs do. I don't think they're the best drafting team out there. I think that they do miss from time to time. A lot of people like to point out their successes and ignore the failures. And that's because they found a generational quarterback, and it'll mask a lot of the things that you're doing wrong in the offseason. Like, you just won't notice it. But they're missing at times, okay? So with that being said, let's talk about this first pick. I'm not excited about it. First pick, 28th overall, you trade up, and you get Xavier Worthy. Now, for me, he was the 6th or 7th best wide receiver in the draft. He's the 5th guy off the board. I get it. Extremely fast. The potential is there. Looked like the fastest guy ever, right? Breaking a record or whatever. His speed has never been in question. Seeing him run fast at the combine did not impress me, did not surprise me. If you watched videos where I talked about Xavier Worthy, I call him the fastest player in college football. I would say Arian Smith is up there, Roderick Pleasant at Oregon. I'm sorry, Smith is over there at Georgia. Barian Brown looks extremely fast on tape, right? And then Xavier Worthy's there. Barry Brown plays at Kentucky, by the way. So Xavier Worthy is extremely fast. But I have seen him drop passes when you don't want him to. And I know Kansas City has all the pieces to make another run at the Super Bowl like they always do. They have the essential parts and pieces. So all they need to do is find one playmaker that won't drop the ball, right? Of all the receivers to take that early, that are that fast, there were other receivers that just have it all together. There were other receivers that don't have any holes to their game, and instead you take Xavier Worthy. I just got done watching him make it rain with a big old chain. And he's just making it rain on either Instagram or Twitter, whatever it is. I'm just letting you know he's not focused on football. He's focused on his wealth. And he's focused on acquiring as much wealth as possible, and that's great. And maybe an instrumental motivation will make you play great. Right? Like if I told you, go out and play this game, I'm going to pay you X amount of money. That's cool and everything. But that's not that intrinsic motivation. That motivation from within. That's not that self-driven aspect. I want to tell you guys I experienced this many times in my life as a leader in the military. I would have soldiers. I would have subordinates. I would have employees, whatever you want to call them, players. I would have teenage young men, 18 to 25 years old, and I would entice them I would entice them to be in their best physical shape. I would tell them, if you score a certain amount on the physical fitness test, I will give you a day off. I will give you an incentive so you don't have to come to PT anymore. I will give you a 3-day pass or a 4-day pass. And you would see individuals hear about the policy, hear about the incentive, say they're going to get to it, and say they're going to be great because of this incentive, and then never, ever have it come to fruition. There's not a single guy who saw the policy and heard about the benefits I was offering and the incentive I was offering, and not a single one of them achieved the goals required. Because when they would work out, the motivation to work out was instrumental motivation. It was some outside force. It wasn't something within themselves. You see, the people who scored the highest, the people who performed the best, were the ones that were internally motivated to be great. Like, they got out there and they would start running. I remember watching this kid run, and he'd be running and he just wouldn't quit. He would look to his left and right and said, anybody with me is not beating me. He would just look to his left and right and say, yo, you're not beating me. Not today. I don't care what you got in you. I'm not losing today. I'm going to push harder, because he had pride and wanted to win every single rep. Every single time, he never wanted to lose. It wasn't about, hey, if you win, I'm going to give you this prize. It was within him to never lose. If I win, it was all pride. And that kid I'm talking about is fucking me, bro. For 20 years, I went my whole life never losing to anyone. Every morning, I'd wake up and say, you're not beating me, you're not. And that was my mindset every day. No one can beat that. When you are self-motivated, self-driven, no one can beat that. I always tell Kim this all the time. I'm addicted to progress. I'm addicted to progress. I'm not addicted to income, revenue, channel, like none of this shit. And I'm not looking for a sponsor. I'm addicted to progress. And that manifests itself in so many ways. That manifests itself in ways that I can't even articulate because I just won't quit. I'll be up till 2 in the morning grinding on information because I have a desire to be great. And I'm saying all of this because when I watch Xavier Worthy, I see a wide receiver motivated by the money, motivated by something else. It's not ingrained in him to be great. It's not. And I know you guys are going to say I'm crazy. I know you guys are going to say I'm reaching, but I'm not wrong. That guy is not that blue-collar guy you want. That is not the all-character guy you want. That is not the one that's going to stay for 100 reps after practice. That's not the Jerry Rice you're looking for. He's not the Chris Carter. He's a speed demon who wants to beat you, but if he gets tired, he's not going to beat you. He's going to drop a pass when it matters most. In those clutch moments, we got to go to Mitchell instead. We got to go to other players on this team that we can rely upon. He's not the guy you can rely upon. And you're replacing a guy like Tony, who's notorious for not coming in the clutch, right? That's what all the fans want to talk about. And Xavier Worthy's not the answer. But you have a great quarterback. You have a great culture, a great coaching staff. You can mask some of these things. But this is why you value somebody who's self-driven. Self-driven means no one has to tell me when to go to practice. No one has to tell me when to work out. No one has to tell me when to watch film. I just wake up and do it. I grind because it's in my DNA. There were receivers still on the board at 28 with that mindset. And the 49ers knew it. Okay? We're going to talk about it. The Chargers knew it. Some of these teams were very aware of the wide receivers still on the board, and they weren't sweating Xavier Worthy. He's not what you think he is. Yes, he's blazing fast. Doesn't have the work ethic that you need to be a first-round wide receiver. That's a fifth-year option. When you take that young man in the first round, that's a fifth-year option. That means we're going to figure it out. And I don't think it's going to happen. Second round, they go and take Kingsley. Suamataia, I can't say his name, bro. Somebody sent me a DM and said, Rico, this is how you pronounce it. And I said, thank you. I'm not trying. Thank you for letting me know. I'm not trying. I can tell you that Kingsley comes from an NFL family. And Kingsley, a BYU offensive tackle, by the way, is so good that if you were watching the live stream, when I was live streaming the draft for all the MVPs and we were on YouTube, you can go find it. During the draft, when the second round starts, somebody asked me, who's this, who's available, and I said the best offensive lineman available is Kingsley. And I thought the Chiefs were actually going to take him at 28. That's how crazy I thought it was. I thought you can get a receiver in the second round, a really good one, because I've seen good receivers go in the second, third, and fourth round. I thought, they're going to take Kingsley in the first. And these guys flipped it and got it right. And all the other teams are reaching on some scrubs, and there's Kingsley. This is a pro's pro. Great draft pick. I think it's an A-plus pick. Shout out to the Chiefs for that one. In the fourth round, you take Jared Wiley. A lot of people don't know Jared Wiley's story, but I'm going to tell you guys, Jared Wiley, coming out of high school, was a quarterback. Okay? Quarterback signed with, quarterback and a kicker, by the way. Really good kicker. I think he made like all his extra points or something. 32-yard field goals. Shout out to Mata. He could probably kick for Colorado. But Jared Wiley goes to Texas and can't quite get in the too deep, and he transfers to TCU and just becomes an all-conference guy, a complete stud. I think it's a very dynamic athlete. I think he's very smart. His all-around game pops on tape. Like, you can just see him. He knows how to read. I watched him running a drag. I'm going to tell you guys this. When you drag across in a zone, it's called a first window drag. Okay, when you're doing your drag on offense and you're going across the entire field, in your first window, you're going to be open. and you don't want to carry over to the next will back or Sam back or whatever. So you stay in that first window. He knows when to settle in that first window. It's something really simple, but when you watch it on tape, a lot of players just keep running that drag all the way across, and they run into coverage. He doesn't. I think he has a really good grasp of reading defenses before the snap, understanding his routes and how they change or choice route it when there's something there. And then he's got the luxury of learning from Kelce. Right? He's going to be on a team with an all-time great tight end, if not the greatest tight end. You're going to learn a whole lot. So I'm excited for that pick in the 4th round. You're still getting quality players in the 4th round. And then right after that, 2 picks later, you get Jaden Hicks. So Sione Vaki goes off the board before, and now you get Jaden Hicks, a safety. This is a Bishop Gorman kid. Comes out of Nevada, right? 6'3", got a lot of Marty Mapow to him. If you don't remember, Marty Mapow was my best safety in the draft last year, and out of Sacramento State, and the Patriots took him in the 3rd round. I try to tell everybody that kid is amazing, and everybody's like, oh, Rico, we know you're talking about some FCS guy. No, I watch film. I watch film on everybody. And when I watch film on Jaden Hicks, he's an in-the-box safety. He's a headhunter. I like this kid. He's been a gamer from the jump. Like, ever since I saw him from high school, never stopped pulling for him. So seeing him in the Pac-12, Washington State, he's that guy right there on the graphic. He's that number 25 there. That's Jaden Hicks, and I think he's a gem in the 4th round. Shout out to them. And then you got in the 5th round, you go and get a center, Hunter Nourzad. Hunter Nourzad did not start his career at Penn State. Okay, so you see the picture of him at Penn State? No, he was an FCS kid. And when he initially started out, he was a tackle. He's just so athletic. He's so good that he transitioned. And I want to say he even started a game at tight end. So he moves to center. This is an athlete. And when you find athletes like that, you know you're drafting centers that are capable of pulling. That's where it's at, right? I just like the kid. I think he's a leader. A couple of these guys, this is important. A couple of these guys, not Xavier Worthy, but a couple of these other guys were team captains. They were leaders in their locker room at their previous organization. I like men like that. All Diddy, right? I'm cool with it. Then you got Kamal Hayden. Injury prone, gots to get over the injuries. If he gets over the injuries, he's a stud. This is a guy who played corner at Tennessee. Good player. Became a starter. Yeah, I like him a lot. So I think that's a hell of a pick in the 6th round. And then in the 7th round, C.J. Hansen, once again, a Holy Cross kid, FCS kid, another character player. All character dude all day. I love it. I don't know if he makes the team. I don't know. He had a ton of starts in college, but once you're in the 7th round, trying to make a Super Bowl championship team is very difficult, right? Hopefully you're making the practice squad. Hopefully they give you a bunch of reps in the preseason because all the starters are just resting, and you get a lot on tape and somebody believes in you and puts you on their practice squad. But if he makes the active 53, I'd be impressed. I'd be excited because, I pull for all those small school guys. All in all, I thought the Chiefs did really well after that first pick debacle. Like, I think the first pick was a complete reach. I'm not happy for it. I don't like it. I don't. I'm just being real. I don't like it. Everybody thinks it's a perfect fit. And, oh, yeah, man, you just want speed guys on the Chiefs. You just need speed wide receivers. Everybody's trying to reduplicate something they once had. And it's not the way it works, man. Just a lot of these guys don't pan out. These speed wide receivers who don't quite have the route acumen, who don't quite have the work ethic or drive, and don't understand what it takes to be great. I would rather have a guy buried in a playbook and understanding how much it means to him to be great, and that it's intrinsic. It's within himself. It's innate. He was born with it. I need somebody born with a work ethic and drive that I recognize. Game recognized game. And Xavier Worthy's looking real unfamiliar to me. Like, I just don't like the pick. I don't think it belonged in the 1st round. That dude, listen, Xavier Worthy is no better than Tank Dell, not even close. And Tank Dell went in the 3rd round. When you can find wide receivers like that in the 3rd round, Javon Baker goes in the 4th round. Okay, Franklin goes in the 4th round. These are guys that are complete studs. Xavier Worthy's not that much better than them. That's what makes this pick so bad, is you can get equivalent wide receivers in the 4th round in this draft. So you can applaud it and say it fits and all that shit, but I'm telling you guys, it's bad. It's misplaced. It's a misplaced pick. Your friends don't know, but Rico knows. Good luck, y'all. Keep watching the series.